Namaskar, good evening. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Swati Joshi. Let's begin the broadcast with this big breaking news coming in. It's a big claim that has been made by the Iranian media. The Iranian media is claiming that the Iranian forces have captured an American pilot. The pilot of an American fighter jet has been captured by them. Some reports suggest it was F-15 and some reports suggest it was the F-35. But this comes after claims were made by Iran that its forces shot down an F-35 fighter jet. Now, as per the reports that are coming to fore in Iranian media, an F-35 stealth fighter jet was shot down by the IRGC over the central Iran area. And there are some images that have been shared as well that are doing the rounds now. These images are viral of a wreckage, which has been shared by the Iranian media. This is, as per the Iranian media, about bringing down an American fighter jet and also capturing an American pilot. Remember, this is what the Iranian media is reporting at the moment. There has been no confirmation from US yet on this particular development. So Iran claims to have captured an American pilot. Let's also understand what we are picking up so far. What do we know so far as per the Iranian media reports doing the rounds? An American fighter jet pilot has been captured by the Iranian forces. Pilot of fighter jet that was downed by the Iranian defense system. Iranian armed forces thwarted a rescue bid. An American rescue bid was thwarted by the Iranian forces. Stealth aircraft was shot down over central Iran, and that Tehran, this is their claim. Tehran says they've shot down 2 F-35 aircrafts in the past 24 hours. This is what the Iranian media is reporting. The US has not said anything on it so far. Let's also take a look at the price Donald Trump and that America is paying for this war. F-35 damaged, how much does it cost? $100 million approximately, that's the price. Let's talk about the F-15E Strike Eagle, shot down. $31.1 million is the approximate price of this aircraft. KC-135 Stratotanker crashed. The price of that approximately is $39.6 million. Let's take a look at more breaking developments on the broadcast. The Iranian media has now made a fresh claim. According to the Iranian media, many people in southwestern Iran have gone to the area around the crash site. So they are saying locals have rushed to the crash site of the American fighter jet in private cars to capture the American pilot. They've also put out a post on social media, which is on your screens. At the moment, the Iranian armed forces have called on the people not to let anyone mistreat the American pilot. So not are they only claiming that they have captured an American pilot, but now they've put out a post. Iranian media says that locals are rushing to the site where the American jet has been down, where it was shot down, and that they are urging the locals to not mistreat the pilot. We have Srinjoy and Mayank joining us on the broadcast. Let me quickly go across to Mayank first. Srinjoy, I beg your pardon. Srinjoy, it's a big development if the Iranian media reports are to be believed. They've not just shot down the American jet, but also captured an American pilot.
Yes, the most important thing to note is all this while, the Americans have been saying that the Iranian air defense system, its radars, its surface-to-air missiles had been destroyed. And for weeks and weeks, the Americans and the Israelis had complete air superiority. Now suddenly you have Iranian surface-to-air missiles. At least that's what the Iranians are saying. Downing not just one, but 2 jets, an F-35 and an F-15 Eagle. Now, if you've knocked out 2 American jets and captured a pilot, the second pilot is still being sought. It's still missing somewhere, then it's a very big development. It's not just about 2 planes being shot down. It's the fact that Iran still has surface-to-air missiles, radars, and air defense system that is good enough to shoot down 2 American fighter planes.
Absolutely.
And these are not just ordinary fighter planes. The F-35 is one of the most modern planes even the US Air Force has. It's a top-of-the-line fighter jet. The F-15 Eagle is a tried and trusted old plane. So both are very high quality fighters. And the fact that they've been shot down and the fact that one pilot has been captured, if that is true, it's a coup by Iran. We don't know whether it's fully true or not because the Americans have yet to confirm it. But Iran insists it has captured an American pilot.
Absolutely. Srinjoy, do stay on with us. Let me go across to Mayank. But before I go to Mayank, we have Group Captain Dr. M.J. Augustine Vinod, former MIG MiG-21 pilot, joining us on the broadcast, along with Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastav, defense expert. Let me quickly go across to Mayank first for the live inputs and the updates. Mayank, before, of course, we start talking about the next obvious question, the impact that it will have on the ongoing war. Most importantly, one, you need an official confirmation from the Iranian authorities. This is what the Iranian media as of now is reporting. There are images and videos doing the rounds, and American version on it as well. There's nothing that America has said so far.
Significant part is while we were in Tel Aviv and Israel, multiple people we spoke to, we got to understand that Iran would come out with certain weaponry, which includes missile, drones, and also systems, defensive systems and offensive systems, which they might have not introduced yet. And that was being said because they were preparing for a kind of war which might take them in a situation of do or die. So are we heading to that situation? Because multiple people, while we were there on ground, they had confirmed this aspect to it. The second point, which was officially confirmed, was downing or hitting an F-35 by the Iranians. Now, what it makes is actually while signature, electronic signature of aircraft is minimal in the cases like F-35, which are said to be the most modern, sophisticated and stealth aircrafts. Stealth in the sense that they hardly make any signature on the radars. So if Iranians have developed a system by which they are able to catch the kind of aircrafts which are F-35 on their radars or seekers, that means they have cracked certain kind of codes, certain ways by which they'll be creating major problem for the Americans and for also including Israel Air Forces, because they also use F-35s. Now, having said that, the other point is, are we heading to a situation wherein this is going to aggravate? That we have to wait and watch, because visuals of a fighter pilot caught by the Iranians might make a different kind of a perception and create lots of negative visuals for the people of the US. That is going to create major problem for them. Not the aircraft, but the visuals of a pilot, which yet needs to be confirmed by the Iranians.
Absolutely. Mayank and Srinjoy, do stay on with us. I want to go across to Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastav. Two key takeaways from what both Srinjoy and Mayank have said. Donald Trump, right from the start, even though he's not giving a clear timeline, has been claiming constantly that we've obliterated Iran. We've finished their missile production capability, their military, and most importantly, they have no air defense system. But this particular incident, one key takeaway is that it's up and running, their air defense system, and two, look at the version or the sophistication or the kind of technology that they're using to bring down stealth aircraft.
So it's really a watershed moment in this whole conflict, if it has happened. Because the earlier report of F-35, neither was confirmed nor negated, not so much pursued in the media. So one thought that it was some kind of fog of war. But if it has happened and the pilot has been captured, then there is a huge optics and negative optics for all the ego trips of Mr. Trump, President Trump. And after he announced that everything is over, Navy is over, air defense is over, Air Force is over, and they are just decimated. All leaders are killed. And they go and hit the bridge, the civilian bridge, which is far against, so much against the international rules of engagement. Of course, they have been flouted. I would say savagely. So this is a real watershed moment. And for an aircraft like F-35, which is an stealth aircraft, very costly aircraft, which looks like a golf ball in the sky. And if you still have the capability to down it, that means you got your either Khordad working or your Bavar 3 working with Sayed 4. Your air defense network is somehow working and somehow trying to pinpoint or get the target. It's not possible otherwise. I have worked in air defense for a very long time. It is impossible to catch an aircraft like this. If they've done it, It's a real marvelous fleet. At the moment, we don't know whether there was a pilot ejected out because there was some emergency in the aircraft and he happened to just land over there. And you also say that it was F-15. If it was the F-15 variety, it was probably not Strike Eagle because that'll have at least 2 crew. So it may be 15C, Charlie, which goes for the air superiority kind of role. And if it is a 35, it's a single seater. There'll be a single pilot over there. So, and it can fly up to very, very high ceiling. So what has happened? What went wrong? We are also, I'm telling you, I'm very amazed, very shocked how this could happen over the skies of the Iran. And if they have really downed it, and now they give a message, keep the pilots safe. Don't do anything to pilot. This is another kind of messaging which is against what is being told to US guys, that they are rogue guys, they're terrorists, they have no kind of morality. Now they are saying, okay, if the pilot is down, keep him safe.
Okay.
He's just a soldier. He's just a fighter. He should be given.
We also have to wait to see how much of this is fact and how much of this is a narrative. At the moment, of course, the images and videos are all of the wreckage, not of the pilot, but Iranian media is making a massive claim. Group Captain Vinod, this is far from over. This certainly cannot happen in a country that has been bombed to Stone Age.
Absolutely. In fact, what needs to be understood very, very clearly by people is the aspect of stealth. Actually speaking, there is nothing called stealth in this world. The word stealth is being very, very loosely used. Stealth has 4 major aspects. One is evading enemy radar. Like the previous speaker mentioned, it is low observable. So you can reduce the radar cross-section to only a certain amount. Second is evading visually. Stealth aircraft are painted black. So during daytime, you cannot evade them visually. I mean, they stand out like a sore thumb in the sky. Third is evading with low oral signature or audio signature. That between a stealth fighter and a non-stealth fighter, not much of difference. And fourth and most importantly, and which is why I feel this aeroplane has been downed, is something called EMCON, EMCON, which means emission control. When a stealth aeroplane, like I've put it in my background, starts transmitting something, whether it could be a communication transmission or a counter jamming transmission or a radar transmission or any kind of electronic transmission, the enemy's electronic intelligence will pick it up. And that is how I think the technology that you were talking about in the opening statement, that is how I feel they have been able to fix this aeroplane in 3 dimension and have been able to bring it down. And I know for a fact this technology exists with Russia. From now, almost a decade and a half earlier. My suspicion is probably that Russia has shared this technology with Iran.
Okay.
And that is
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to come in here. We have more breaking inputs on the broadcast. Just quickly shifting focus to that. Iran has also claimed that its air defense systems have downed a US UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter in the Iraqi airspace near the Iran border. So back-to-back big claims coming in from Iran. This time, Iran is talking about downing a UH-60 Black Hawk. Let me go back to our guests. Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastav, Group Captain Vinod, giving us an insight into the technology and from where it must have come. But look at the claims being made. The Iranian media spoke about downing a stealth aircraft and capturing a pilot. There are more claims coming in. This is only going to escalate.
Swati, one thing is very clear what Grupi has said. It's absolutely fine. This EMCON technology existed and exists, and it is with Russians for decades. So we always understand that if you go in operations, you're taking care of all these things over the enemy territory. It also goes to tell that if US is not factoring all these things in while over Iranian airspace, so they are just dismissing Iran as any kind of potent threat to their thing. They should know that Russia will provide the assistance in these times to Iran. It's not a hidden fact. Everybody knows. Each one of on the panel knows about it. So why the pilot had to do really that kind of transmission? Or there's the IR signature issue also. there'll be engine, of course, it gets cooled in F-35, but still there is signature. The signature is significant for any kind of thing to pick up what we earlier heard of infrared search and track. So it can happen. But you asked a very good question. Now helicopter comes in the play because helicopter goes to retrieve, thinking the territory is all sanitized. So it can be hit. Helicopter is even a better sitting duck.
Yeah.
So it can be hit. So if that has happened, so this is a calamity for the whole ongoing conflict and kind of, rhetoric which is being built up.
Okay.
And it's an ego prick for President Trump. How he's going to face his own constituency with all these facts. And if the pilot
interesting that, of course, you're talking about Donald Trump, and we do have a breaking input related to that. Let's quickly tell our viewers about it. US President Donald Trump has made a striking statement, but this statement is on the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump says it could be opened up. That with a little more time, he says, Strait of Hormuz could be opened up, oil could be accessed, and it could turn into a gusher for the world, hinting at major economic potential. So this tweet does not have any mention about the developments that are taking place on ground in Iran that the Iranian media is claiming. But Donald Trump's statement, this statement is about the Strait of Hormuz, where Donald Trump claims that with a little more time, it could be opened up. He's made multiple statements on the Strait of Hormuz. He gave a deadline to Iran, said open it within 48 hours. Then he extended that deadline, and then he said it will eventually open up once we exit. Let me go across to Hina, my colleague, who's joining us with more details on the latest coming in from Donald Trump. Over to you, Hina.
Well, absolutely. While Donald Trump is still talking about, what could really happen with Strait of Hormuz, but there is another very big development that has taken place that Iran is claiming right now, that an American fighter pilot is actually in their custody. And we would like to now show to our viewers another big claim, Swati, that has been made by Iran. And this is the map, in fact, that has been shared by affiliate of Iran State TV. Now, that is claiming that U.S. fighter pilot actually ejected from the aircraft that they downed in southwest Iran. So this is the map, in fact, they have shared to actually confirm the claim they are making. So far, of course, U.S. President has not said anything on these big claims by Iranian media. And now IRIB, which is Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting, has in fact put out this particular picture that we are now showing to our viewers. This is a region, according to them, where Iran and the United States have been searching for 2 American pilots since the morning. Remember, in the morning only this news had come that Iranian defense systems have managed to, shoot down an F-35 jet. And this evening, the news has come that attempts were made by American forces to rescue a pilot who is right now in the custody of Iranian armed forces. We don't know, since they are claiming 2 pilots here, along with the maps picture that they have put out. What is the status of the second pilot? We have no idea about that as of now.
Absolutely. Hina, thank you for getting us the details. Let me quickly take that across to Srinjoy for a moment. If you can hear me, Srinjoy, another claim about the helicopter, which according to reports is used for special operations and rescue missions.
Yes, the Black Hawk has also gone down, is what the Iranians are saying. Now, a Black Hawk is a staple helicopter that the Americans have used for years and years. Now the question is, three aircraft and two and one, three all down in roughly 24 hours. What does it really mean? Now, first of all, President Trump had said that Iran's air defense system has gone. The radars have been blinded and so on. Now, there have been reports that the Russians have provided additional SAMs, surface-to-air missiles, and other capabilities. Now, it's entirely possible that those were used in recent days because the reports about Russian help, about Russian equipment coming in, was there a few days ago. So it's entirely possible that this is new equipment that's come from the Russians. But the fact that 2 fighter planes, one F-35 and an Eagle, an F-15, which can sometimes have 2 pilots, plus, of course, the helicopter, now is seriously bad news.
Right.
The worry is the captured pilot.
Absolutely.
What is what is Iran going to do? Because he
Now, my
will
next question is
now
related
be
to that. This certainly is not good news for America. But Mayank, is it too early to say that this definitely will be used in the narrative war in terms of who has an edge now?
Certainly, and when Times Now brought exclusively the cafe from which we had confirmed that PM Netanyahu was alive, it was a major aspect of information warfare as it is being said about. But while we have two experts with us, we need to understand that claims from the US and the Israel side also that they had totally destroyed the kind of military industrial complex which is owned and which was indigenous minded. It was indigenous military industrial complex of the Iran, which continues to flourish even now. And if the claims were made that they had destroyed the air defense umbrella, 1, 2, the missile capability, 3, the drone capabilities, it is every time being opened up and exposed that these are lies. And the way the things are coming up, and this is after that, yesterday and even today, there were missiles which were hitting Israel at multiple places. So why are these statements being made which can also counter their own narratives? So this is, as you said, it is a part of those narratives which might hit you back negatively also. But then visuals, as we were talking, if they come out of the people, of the pilots being captured, that is going to create a major issue for the US at least. And as far as technical aspects, as we were talking about, the umbrella, which is air defense, and the seekers, which are the radars and other things, our technical experts might be throw more light on that. They still exist and they are up and running.
Absolutely, up and running fine. In fact, along with the images and videos, Iran has also shared a map which we are playing out on the screen at the moment as we speak, the region, highlighting the region where these aircrafts have been downed. And the images are about the wreckage of the aircraft. This is the region highlighted on the map where the US jets were brought down. Let me quickly go across to Group Captain Vinod. Group Captain Vinod, the one thing that has been completely decimated here and shot down are the claims that were made on part of Donald Trump about obliterating Iran.
Absolutely. In fact, I wanted to, demystify this so that our viewers understand this technology very, very clearly and no rocket science about it, and make it very, very simple. First and foremost, there are active radars and there are passive radars. Passive radars are, there are companies like Vera E systems. Incidentally, Pakistan has a Vera E system. These passive, I wouldn't call it a radar, a passive system picks up an aeroplane absolutely accurately in 3 dimensions. And using something called a 3-point method, which is a very old technology, 70s and 80s, missiles can be launched passively. So what Trump is saying is also not false, and what is happening on the ground is also not false. They both are true in their own sense, in the sense Trump said all the radars have been taken out. I wouldn't say all the radars, but most of the radars may have been taken out because anti-radiation missile that USA has is extremely potent. The moment a radar pings, the anti-radiation missile will go and hit it. But what I said earlier, the technology that Iran has is a passive system, which is a very potent system, especially, there is a Chinese student who has come up on the internet and said how to take out an F-35. See, taking a leaf from what Air Vice Marshal said, for F-35, it cannot remain blind. If it is electronically silent, it is also blind. It is not getting any information. No information is going out. The moment it pipes up on electronically, this passive system will pick it up and the missiles will go and hit it.
Absolutely.
Now, we have seen it happening.
The developments, we've discussed the technical aspect, we've discussed the information warfare as well. But what happens next depends a lot upon what Donald Trump is now going to say. We'll keep tracking those developments. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast.